thought you'd have called me, baby, just to see you'd be late again. I thought you would care about me, say you were my best friend. Maybe you think I can't live without you. Maybe that's why you treat me so wrong. I'm not obligated to you. I don't want it this way. Don't be staring through those brown eyes. You must have seen that this was coming. When I tried to talk to you, you turned away. You say you wanna dance. You don't ever want to argue. You wanna love the night away. But girl, I won't stay. You say you wanna dance. You don't wanna talk it over. You wanna love the night away. But girl, I won't stay. It's not that I don't really love you. Girl, I just don't love your style. All this time you've been playing with my mind. Now you're running out of time. Maybe my love means nothing to you. Maybe you've seen through the heart in me. Maybe all that you're thinking is wrong. Maybe my love ain't so strong. Don't be staring through those brown eyes. You must have seen that this was coming. 'Cause when I tried to talk to you, you turned away. You say you wanna dance. You don't ever want to argue. You wanna love the night away. But girl, I won't stay. You say you wanna dance. You don't wanna talk it over. You wanna love the night away. But girl, I won't stay. No. I don't wanna be a fool for you. No, no. Another game that you can play. No, I don't wanna play this game with you. No, no, no. Fun and games won't mean the same to you. Oh, when it's said and done, there'll be no love to keep you warm. You'll come crying back to me again. 'Cause when it's said and done, get someone else to keep you warm. You wanna dance. You don't ever want to argue. You wanna love the night away. But girl, I won't stay. Say you wanna dance. You don't wanna talk it over.
Human rights, the latest platform on which politicians launch from when they want to control your will. Human rights, they're shouting from the highest hill. For human rights, I will fight with all my might, day and night. Once you have a little
Yes, indeed, of course, a pleasant good night to all and sundry, East, West, North, South, Central. Yeah, we thought we should talk about a little bit of human rights, because human rights, of course, requires that even children's rights must be, of course, encompassed as a sub-right, if you want to call it that, but equally important in essence, as far as the overall concept of human rights is concerned. And therefore, of course, the abuse of children, the neglect of children, bringing children into the world, and then of course they are left to their own devices, certainly are all what I believe to be an abominable shame, and of course an infringement of the fundamental rights of children. That's quite apart, of course, from when they become adults, as you and I, and therefore will have to, of course, take on, this has to take on a different complexion. And in the context, of course, of what is happening in the Caribbean and, of course, around the southern part, or should I say Latin America and South America in particular, I'm talking about, of course, the quagmire, the chaos that Venezuela has created across the southern, what I consider the American continent. We need, of course, to be concerned because it has implications here in Trinidad. But, of course, human rights, critical.
Nobody want no welfare. We want jobs and we want health care. Education, give it that quick. We ain't want no political rhetoric for human rights.
Ah, yes, indeed, of course, human rights, human rights, a fundamental principle of human dignity, the furtherance of the human species. You see, it is the deterioration and the disrespect for those rights by persons who from time to time may have been given the responsibility to do what? To, of course, promote and to make certain and defend the human rights of individuals. This is how they would have wanted to be defended. You see, it is important to understand that because when one looks at Hitler, one looks at Mussolini, when one looks at Saddam Hussein, when one look at Gaddafi, of course, of Libya, when one look at, of course, in more recent times, we look at, of course, Maduro right here in the Western Hemisphere. And then, of course, we looked not too far ago or not too long ago. Then, of course, this venerable fighter for African dignity and independence. I'm talking about the former Zimbabwean president, Robert Mugabe. And we look at all of these. And of course, we cannot ignore the Costinista, is that what they call them in Nicaragua? Of course, we would have had, of course, Ortega in Panama. And we look at all of that. And we must say to ourselves that there is a class of individuals who, when they get into office and power, they then, of course, proceed to suggest that somehow they alone have human rights, 1 and 2, that they alone must survive, and at their whim and fancy, they can, of course, extinguish the lives of members of their respective citizenry or citizens. That, to me, is not just abominable, it's not just barbaric, but we have seen, of course, it has triggered, of course, at least 2 world wars. And Hitler's, of course, role in the Second World War and the triggering thereof certainly is a gleaming example of what must not be done. And so, of course, the creation of the United Nations, where our own Prime Minister, of course, expressed a deep concern for what is happening around the globe. And leaders of the world, of course, are looking at the whole question of wars and rumors of wars and people engaging, of course, in tragic human rights violations. We want to know if the place has come full circle and that there seems to be a cyclical propensity in human existence and of course, management of the resources of the earth. This seems to be an intractable part and parcel of human existence. But we will talk about that in a little more detail because we have to look at anthropology and all these other scientific terms. But we have Joshua with us tonight, yes indeed. And tonight was supposed to be, of course, our children's corner, so to speak. But of course, our female addition to the corridor around this time is unable to make it because, she has her own school exams to take, the C exam. And she had, of course, to be unavoidably, let's say, attracted, or I don't want to say delay because she wouldn't be here, but certainly she is unavoidably absent. Let me put it that way. And so, of course, Joshua is here to pick up the slack, so to speak. But we'll give him some limited time because we have some very important issues that we have to talk about coming out from last Thursday, and a number of developments that will take us maybe from now until next week. But we need, of course, to event that because it is of a national nature. And there are certain personal developments that are taking place as far as my party is concerned that we need to share, and I need to begin the process tonight. Of course, we will look at the classroom scenario and program adjustments next week. That has been pushed back. So without further ado, and my apology to those who are expecting, of course, classes to start tonight. Having said that, of course, let me just introduce Joshua. Joshua, just lean back and make sure that you are in the picture, so to speak. A pleasant good night to you, my son. And how was it today and yesterday? Because we weren't on yesterday.
I can't remember what happened yesterday.
I can't remember what happened yesterday. Well, education is remembering, so that is not a good sign. But that being as it may. Okay. But firstly, of course, you have to say good night. I'm sure.
Good night,
You're sounding like if you mean it. Sound like if you mean it, man. Yes?
Good night, everybody.
All right, okay. If that's the way you look at to suggest you mean it. All right. Go ahead, yes. So what transpired? Quickly, because we don't have much time tonight.
I thought Saturday's insurance night.
Yeah, but because, what's her name? Ria is not here?
Maya.
Huh? What's her name?
Maya.
Maya, yes. Maya is not here tonight. So I'll take the opportunity to, of course, confiscate, to impose on the children's corner.
Every time I hear you keep on talking about business and really ask us a question, so why can't I say because last Saturday I would be on night.
Yeah, but Maya has to be here and I haven't take the opportunity to just now listen. I'm saying I take the opportunity. I am the person who programs the program, so you have to hear what I say. You will have to listen to what I say. Apart from that, I am the father, not the child, and therefore the child has to listen to the father. All right, you want me to go through a whole lecture? All right, go ahead. So take the opportunity to express what you have to express, and when we say time to leave, you just make your departure. Go ahead, son.
I feel I'm miserable tonight.
Yeah, you're looking mischievous tonight. You're wearing a mischievous face. But of course, that will be limited to the time that you have on the set. Go ahead.
If I'm mischievous, I might have more time.
No. You have no more time. So the more mischievous you are, and the more that consumes the time, it means therefore you have less time to be non-mischievous or less mischievous. Go ahead. Give us what you transpired, now, man. Make use of your time.
Yesterday.
Yesterday, yes, Friday, when we were told. But come into the program, come into the mirror, please. Let the camera see you, please. Let the camera see you. Stop this one side kiting. I talk to you about that. Go ahead, yes.
Right. So yesterday we went to the zoo.
Oh, you went to the zoo yesterday? All right. That's why you came back so late. Because I don't know, somebody said they might have keep you.
But Daddy wasn't even here.
Oh, okay. Well, that was supposed to be a joke. But go ahead.
Well, the joke was not funny.
I hear you. Go ahead. Yeah.
So we went to the zoo.
Uh-huh.
It had more turtles than all of the animals.
Okay, turtles like peas. All right.
I had about like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 25 turtles.
25. All right. Okay. So
25 turtles and more.
all right. So what you learned? Quickly, because we don't have much time. We have just about 5 more minutes. Anything you learned at the zoo?
No.
Nothing?
But, yeah, man, know that, well, you can minus some of the turtles because
Go ahead. Yes.
you can minus some of the turtles because I see two
You saw what?
two
So
turtles.
I saw what? I saw what?
I
Yes,
I
yes.
saw two turtle shells,
Okay.
empty turtle shells
Okay.
in the water.
All right. What did that suggest?
Turtles are done.
Turtle died. All right. Okay. But beautiful. Yes. Go ahead.
And the zoo looked like it was a little bit old.
Oh, the zoo looking old.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because it had a set of mouse in cages or something.
Oh, okay, okay.
And
From that perspective.
And it
Right.
had some lions.
So are you saying that it appears that the
wait,
animals
wait,
weren't
wait.
well kept?
Yep.
All right. Okay.
And
Zoo, you hear no criticism on the corridor transformation. A child that visited the zoo. So you zookeepers and handlers, you better watch out. Here it is, somebody visited just on Friday the zoo, and they have observed that the animal where they are kept are not well kept. But go ahead, Joshua. Give us your experience.
it had mouse, the lions.
Mhm.
The lions. It had two male lions, and lions were skinny.
Oh my goodness! So you're saying that they were malnourished? They were looking malnourished? Ah, wow. That is a criticism.
The legs and thing looking strong, but they're looking weak a little bit.
Okay.
And I heard I read Howler Monkey.
Uh-huh.
I don't think it was howling at me. It just watched me and started scream. So I just so wise my teachers and I was just stand up and watch it. I run down the stairs.
You were because
I don't
you
know,
you was afraid, you were scared
I was
of the
looking
scream.
at me and pointing at me.
Why
not?
I hear you. Anything else that you want to share with us?
I mean the parents was dancing.
Parrots?
The parents was dancing.
Okay, all right, okay.
I don't know
How many of
parrots-
them? How many of them about? But how much of them?
You mean how much parts they had?
Yeah.
Or how much parts was dancing?
No, how many parrots and all, and then you'll tell me about the dance.
Okay, so like at least 50 parrots.
50? Wow. So
Yes, it have a lot of parrots.
all right. Well. So a lot of turtles, a lot of parrots. So which one would have been in the majority? Parrots or turtles?
Turtles.
Turtles look more. All right. Okay. All right. Any other experience that you would like to share with us?
I just want to say something, but I keep on cutting my off.
All right. Go ahead, because I want to
Okay, well, don't cut off.
to limit it to the
please.
time. Go ahead.
Just go for it.
All right.
So I did see some capybaras.
Mm-hmm. Happy what?
Capybaras.
What's that? I don't know what that.
You don't know that capybara?
No, tell everybody I don't know.
A capybara is a short, well, not like short, as tall as a dog,
Mm-hmm.
but like it just don't, like it don't bite or anything. It's just a fun little animal. If you pet it,
Okay.
I wouldn't do nothing.
All right.
And it's a videos I can standing on top of crocodiles and things.
Okay. And what's the name? Happy what?
Capybaras.
Happy what? Happy barrel?
Capybara.
Pappy?
Cappy.
Patty?
Cappy.
Or pappy? All right.
Cap.
All right. Oh, go ahead. Whatever the name is.
C-A.
C? And you're saying?
I
So
say
Cappy?
I
Oh,
say
Cappy.
cap.
C-A. All right. Go ahead.
A capybara is like
You know how to spell it? All right. I'll take that as a no.
oh no wait.
Yeah.
I think it's C-A-P-P-Y.
Yeah? PP. I'm looking for it on the Y. Okay.
No, look at the hold on, take off the Y.
Uh-huh.
I think that it.
So that is Cappadocia.
No.
Oh, wait, which one?
Cappy.
Which one?
Oh Put back your wife. Space.
So guppy, I know is a fish.
Copy.
All right. We will find it out.
B.
Yeah.
Yeah, look at it.
Oh yes, capybara, right? Beautiful. Yes, let me see what it is because I didn't know it. I'm telling you all the fact. It's a pig-sized, tailless, South American
Rodent.
amphibious rodent, which with partly webbed feet, partly webbed feet, largest living rodent. So it's a rodent, so it's like a big rat, right? That's what I say here. So and it is pig size,
Yeah,
you know the
but-
size of a pig.
Yeah, but
It is tailless, it doesn't have a tail, and of course it is native to South America, and it is amphibious, meaning that it could live in water and on land. Amphibious. Go ahead.
Live
we
in
know.
water?
Yeah, amphibian is a animal that lives on land and water and in water. That's all. Right, good.
Yeah,
So
but
we
the-
know what a capybara is. Capybara. 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 Capybara.
No, you're saying that wrong.
What's that?
CAPYB. No. CAPYBARA.
Yeah. I thank you for repeating what I just said. But go ahead.
That is not what you say.
I didn't say that. What I said?
You say it's some mix up with this.
All right, but let me repeat what I thought I said then. Capybara. Capybara.
No,
Is a pig-sized, right, tailless South American native rodent like a rat, and of course, what again it says about it with webbed feet. Webbed feet. What do you mean by webbed feet?
It's how these when you have your hands up,
Uh,
it means that you have some same here parts in your hands a little bit, but when you open it, it has some
yeah. So you could paddle. You could paddle like a oar, right? Like the oar of a boat. All right,
But
yeah.
if it's a rodent, how do people do it touch it?
Well, I don't know, but all rodents are not like rats. That's all we can say. All right. So web feet meaning that you can feet like a duck that you can of course paddle with. And that is what they use to paddle. All right. So web feet, webbed feet. WEBBED. Webbed feet. WEB web. B again ED web. All right. Anything else? Anything else quickly because we have to get on to a big people business tonight, even though it was supposed to be little children's night. Go ahead. Anything else? All right. You have test tomorrow. You have test next week.
Yeah,
What day?
Tuesday.
All right. Okay. Most people probably started their tests already.
Oh,
Particularly in the
yeah.
primary school. So of course, Josgua has his from next week.
And Tuesday will be the last week with us.
Next week, right. But of course, tomorrow night, I will be, of course, picking up. They gave him some, how much words they give it to learn?
20.
20 words in preparation for test. I will be asking him those words right here to see whether or not he learned his spelling. All right? So I'll be doing that tomorrow night. Any parting words quickly? So I learned something. The capybara is capybara is a rodent from South America. It has webbed feet and it has what is called a tailless present. What tailless mean?
That they don't have a tail.
That it doesn't have a tail. Very good, yes. So I think we catch all the, and when they say pig size, what do you think they mean?
It's big like a pig.
Big like a pig. Very good. All right.
Yeah, but I would just like to see.
Go ahead quickly. I know you have some advertisement to make. Go ahead quickly, man. I don't know, they're taking the program to advertise.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Oh, one second.
Yes.
I would just like to say special tonight. I would just like to say special good night to my granny Pinky out in the USA,
All right.
and I wish that she will call soon because we haven't heard from her from at least 4 months.
4 months you haven't heard from,
5.
from your granny?
Yeah, 4, 5.
All right, okay. Well, if you are, I'm sure that she is, and somebody will tell her. So maybe you may be under the weather, but of course, Joshua is pleading that, of course, you communicate because I know that you both had a very close relationship. So he's missing you, and of course, I know that our friend in Tagarigua, which is as well, is another close associate. These are very senior people, but of course he has these senior friends that he likes to fraternize and to talk with. Something like me, when I was growing up, I like to talk to people senior to me. Probably that is why I sound very mature by a certain age. I suppose that has to be attributed to Joshua as well. So who in Tagarigua you want to call or you want to say hi to?
I would just like to say a special good night to Auntie Al um in Tagarigua.
Yeah, in Tagarigua.
I would just like to say a special good night to not me. Uncle Clement.
Uncle Clement, all right,
and
okay.
Auntie Gita.
And Auntie Gita, right, good, right. So I think not commendations, but salutations are in order, and now we can have Joshua make his departure. Thank you very much, Joshua. You have been wonderful tonight. Tomorrow night, of course, is drilling time, when, of course, we'll be picking up the 20 words.
Why every time I go on the live, on this side you always showing with no dots what I have like here, but
Yeah.
every time I come here,
Yeah,
and you can see some of the things.
yeah. There's a glittering, almost.
You can see through me.
All right.
Like I am not.
We'll adjust that. Bye bye. Yes, indeed. Go ahead. A pleasant good night once again to all and sundry, of course. That was Joshua, of course. He's making his departure offset, and of course we will be pursuing, of course, the big people items tonight. Let me start by, of course, talking about the whole question of the fake news that, of course, was highlighted by the Honorable Prime Minister recently. And, of course, back in the United States, the Secretary of State, Marco Rubio, he did, in fact, of course, confirm, because there was this CNN article, and, of course, that is supposed to be an internationally reputed best source, if you want to call it that, reliable source, media network or entity, and here it is. They were saying that the British were so upset with the Americans and the Donald Trump administration and its war against, of course, the drug cartels here in the South Caribbean Sea, that they have withdrawn, of course, intelligence provision to them, to the Americans, that is, in order to assist them, because they believe, there's a reason for it, they believe that they were infringing international laws, and that, of course, those killings or those bombings or those blowing up of those pirogues filled with drugs would be, of course, a fundamental violation and therefore extrajudicial killing. Of course, the Americans have a different view. They're saying that they have a war on this particular activity, and those who are involved, well, they are considered to be enemy combatants, full stop. And so that was and is the justification for it. Of course, our Prime Minister, in a fit of a total and absolute commitment to Trinidad and Tobago. Let me repeat. In a fit of a total and absolute commitment to the people of Trinidad and Tobago, said in no uncertain terms, as a patriotic citizen herself, and of course holding the position, the highest executive office in the land as Prime Minister, she said that if it is that Trinidad and Tobago is being assisted without having to put out the financial, material, and the human resource in order to address what? Our crime scourge, our drug menace, our arms and ammunition proliferation, then by all means, well, I'm paraphrasing here, kill them all. Kill them all. And of course, there are members of the, what I consider to be the CARICOM leaders who have pains and have a disagreement with that term. However, when one looks at the reality, St. Vincent is having their own an upsurge in crime. St. Lucia, Barbados, and we can go up the island, don't talk for Jamaica, and don't talk for Guyana. So, is that a wrong statement? I submit no. I submit no. Because you would recall last year, there was a symposium in Trinidad at our expense, taxpayers' expense, when the Rowley administration, maybe they were grandstanding, maybe they did it to demonstrate for the local population, the electorate that is, because they knew that elections would have been this year, or at least it would have been early in 2026. And therefore, in an attempt to, of course, try to show that they're having or doing all that they can in order to address crime and criminality, they decided to have this elaborate charade. Let me repeat. This elaborate charade, this elaborate facade, this elaborate deception, this elaborate illusion, this elaborate propensity to fool the population of Trinidad and Tobago. That is what they spend over $3 million to bring, of course, those leaders from the various other islands that are reeling from the invasion of crime and criminality in their own territory, and bring them here, regale them, of course, at the Hyatt, feed them with, of course, our money. But all of that clearly, one has to agree now, having regard to the very recent stance of Rowley, who was, of course, the Prime Minister at the time, and on the fight against the drug cartels by the Americans. Because if it is the present Prime Minister said, thank you, I don't have to put out boats or ships, I don't have to expose my Coast Guard fleet, I don't have to expose my law enforcement apparatus, and the Americans are prepared, of course, to bring overwhelming force to impact on the presence of drugs and guns and human trafficking, etc., then by all means go ahead. And we have to understand, in a state where the PNM left the treasury almost dry, I say almost dry because not like them, they met an over full treasury of over $12 billion in 2015. I talk about US, and say that the country was running on fumes, and dotish people who are PNM trolls and PNM nincompoops went for that. And I am saying so because even though he meant any one of us with a modicum or a morsel of common sense would have known that he was talking about the overdraft at the central bank. But he did not make it clear. I'm talking about, of course, Imsbert, who made the statement that the country was running on fumes at the time. But it served his political agenda, and therefore he didn't correct it then, and he did not correct it whilst he was in government, because he doesn't want to look as though he's a liar, when in fact all of us know that they are all suffering from what is called mythomania. Mythomania, meaning that they are spontaneous liars. Spontaneous liars. Their mendaciousness is unfathomable. And therefore, that level of deception was manifested throughout their 2015 right up to the 28th of April 2025, when they were kicked out disgracefully. 26 and plus 2, 28, 13, 12 plus 1. Yes, indeed. But the point I am making here, I'm saying all this to say that there was a crime problem right up the Caribbean islands, the archipelago. All of us have a problem with crime and criminality. So the point I am making is, how come Kamla Prasad Bisasa, in addressing, of course, the whole question of crime and criminality, capitalizing on what the Americans would have been operating and functioning in order to address their own problems in the North, how come something is wrong when she said that listen, kill them all? Because we were talking about under Rowley record-breaking murders after year, from 2022, 23, 24. It's 500, 600, and we're going up the road. So therefore, there was a burning issue, and the PNM administration found it an intractable confrontation, or put another way, an issue that they cannot and could not have resolved. So what they did, they, in a sense, not knowing, because this is happenstance, this is of course serendipity, this is about chance, this is about maybe some say divine intervention. Whatever you say is as if they did that to absolve Kamla Prasad Bisasa today when she said kill them all. Because there was a problem with crime and criminality, drugs, guns, and of course ammunition and human trafficking. There was. How the hell today you suddenly talking about what? The Caribbean must remain a zone of peace. Suggesting what? What are you suggesting? You know why they are on this charade, this what I consider to be inevitable, disastrous course of action? You know why? Because they were actually defending the Maduro administration. That is what that was all about and is all about. There's nothing else. And why they are looking for a ethos? Why are they looking for an argument to justify the evil presence of an evil regime called the Maduro administration? Why? Because they know that Maduro has been evil to his people. They know that the Venezuelans, ordinary person, is oppressed and depressed, and that they have been repressed, and that they have been abused. fundamental human rights out the door. The commandeering of the apparatus of state that are supposed to be independent, including the judiciary, handpicked by Maduro. They know that. These leaders who are talking about a zone of peace know that. So they have to find another argument that appeared to be neutral and palatable, because they don't want to face the harsh truth that if they are talking about defending Maduro, because let's face it, their concern is that the Americans are using, of course, the war on drugs to invade Venezuela and, of course, change the regime there. But I say personally, happy riddance if Maduro goes. And I say so from a patriotic perspective, because over 8 million of the 27 million population strong in Venezuela has migrated out of Venezuela for obvious reasons, as indicated earlier, because of the oppression and the depression and the economic, not just stagnation, but the economic deterioration of that place, that people cannot find food. And if you have to buy a bread, what we call a hops bread, you have to carry a barrow, what they call it, they don't call it pesos, they call it bolivar, in order to get a hops bread. A barrow is hyperinflation you're talking about here. And here it is, the people and them that migrate out of Venezuela, over 100,000 end up in Trinidad here. I must have a concern as a citizen. I must say, because if it is that Rowley and them haven't met $22 billion in reserve, and of course in the Heritage and Celebration Fund in 2015, they met, of course, some 5 billion US. And by the time they leave office on the 28th of April, of that 12 billion, only 4 billion remain for the present government to manage the affairs of the country. Then it means, therefore, I must have a concern that here it is, when you import items, because our import bill, food bill, is $4 to $6 billion. And if it is that we have to share that with the 100,000 Venezuelans that have migrated here and have commingled among us. I must be concerned. And if you didn't know that, well, you must be concerned too now. Because in a situation where we have found ourselves in economic hot waters, because of the poor management of the Rowley and the subsequent, short as it was, but nonetheless substantive in terms of his involvement. They're talking about the young, ephemeral, short-lived administration. The fact is that he was there before he was considered to be the Gary Sobers of the Rowley PNM government. Let's not waste time. So we know. And therefore that 100,000 is consuming the little that we have, or sharing the little that we have. And therefore, if you bring in, for example, a shipload of, let's say, corned beef, because there are more people purchasing corned beef, it means that supply will run out quickly, and you have to restock. But restocking by itself is a challenge, because we would have had a situation where our oil, gas, and petrochemical industries were facing declining income, and declining from the perspective of availability, because gas was, as one would have expected, because of its nature, run out. So it's running out. So we are placed in a quagmire, in a vortex, in a very difficult and challenging situation. And while the native population would have had to have and engage this issue, here it is. Whatever we secure, we have to share it with 100,000 Venezuelans. Unnecessarily. Because all Maduro had to do was to have verifiable, let me repeat, verifiable, free and fair elections. Who cares whether he got back into office or not? But the elections must be free and fair. It must be free from fear. And that did not happen. And so sanctions, and I want to, of course, criticize brutally those who are of the view that it's the Americans that caused the economy of Venezuela to collapse in the way that it has. I take a different realistic view, that it is the regime and their philosophical and their practical and their implementary unsavory policies and programs that has created the circumstance and the conditions for the Americans to impose sanctions on them. They are of their own doing as far as that is concerned. They attracted that to themselves. Why you think Rowley and they were so strident that when the news broke about Delcy Rodriguez and a sanctioned plane landing in Piacu, Trinidad and Tobago's airport, with Delcy Rodriguez, the vice president of Venezuela, a person who herself is sanctioned, and a whole continent are talking about Europe. Don't want to see she at all. A plane full of PDVSA representatives, the oil company that is the national oil company of Venezuela, officials. And then soon after that, almost simultaneously, while they were flying out, a shipment of gasoline that was that originated from Paria, the company that was created by Rowley and they to import fuel and therefore that energy commodity to fuel our industry and our domestic consumption and or use. That shipment ended up in Venezuela. The point I am making, why it is that they were so concerned when the opposition leader then, Kamala Persad-Bissessar, said, well, listen, what is this? You shut down the airspace, you shut down our borders, but you had these people come in, you give them almost red carpet, whilst our citizens were outside, and then it turned out that the entire thing breached the sanction of the Americans. And Rowley and them knew what that meant. Sanction for them too. So they started to bellow and started to do all kinds of things. We will continue after this call. A pleasant good night. Welcome to the corridor.
Good night, Mr. Smith.
Good night, my friend.
And good night, Joshua. But sorry, I couldn't join you before.
Yeah, no problem, man.
Yeah. But I listened to you there, and I say I have to just tell you.
Yes.
That you forget Rowley was trying to do just like what Castro do. Put his brother Chavez put Maduro. I forget how the next man that know that put Putin and Rolly put Pyongyang.
Yeah. Birds of feather flock together and act together.
Right. So you could see he was doing it in the same kind of way. That's why he loved them people and them because he danced up there and they enjoyed themselves and they care nothing about nobody else. You understand? But God know what he do.
Yes, man.
And that's why he put Miss Kamala there. And you know, today I was talking to some people, right?
Mm-hmm.
To my sister, in fact.
Yeah.
And what I was telling her, I say people that say they're involved in politics, but politics is always a way of life from since creation, right? Even in the time of Jesus, right? And politics play a part in your life all the time. And things have to be done with a scientific type of way. And that one Rolly didn't have, you know, like Kamala. She have that way in her that she will do things that will not everybody she gonna please, because even Jesus used to say, I'm telling you the truth, and some people just wouldn't believe.
Yes.
Right? But and I was showing her that I say look at for instance, right? You could say come, you could say go, you could say don't do that. And you can't spell that if you didn't go to school to spell it.
That's right.
You understand? But
Yes.
you could say it,
Yeah.
but you couldn't spell what you say.
Yeah.
Right? If you remember, you had us to learn to count from 1 to 100. You wanna just know that just so? So even said we came down in a way where scientific means had to come in our life for we to go forward.
Yeah.
Right? Some people stay in the way, in the zone, and they move from A to B to you know what I mean?
Yeah.
To C. But everything is being done in a scientific type of way. Because even when they take your blood count, right? They take your bloods, right? And they could know everything what your blood have in it. How they doing that? Yeah? By just testing, and they could tell you what your blood have in it. So, but this is where Kamala is such a different prime minister to Rowley. Right? He is a born leader. Right? Some people have to make themselves leader. And that's why we are find ourselves in this condition today. But the other thing I want to say too is this zone of peace, right?
Yeah.
Remember since in the time where the colonial days, we come down here because of war, you know. Because remember the Spanish had Trinidad and many colonies, and England fight them. I remember when they stay in the Buchanan.
Mr. Faisabai, just hold on. We have Mr. Gandhi online. Just hold on.
Right? Yeah. In Jamaica, I'll be just in Jamaica.
Yes.
Then they had Walter Raleigh, they had Admiral Lord Nelson, and all them people.
Mm-hmm.
They even had a rock that they called Diamond Rock, somewhere between Dominica and somewhere where the garrison pulled the cannon on top of the rock, and he was able to shoot the Spanish ships and sink them when they passed near. And so England took over all these places, and so this place was always a war-like area. So they call the West Indies a zone of peace. The West Indies always had war. Right?
I like that
We never had
perspective.
no
First time,
zone of peace
first
there.
time I'm hearing that perspective. I like that perspective. But go ahead, my friend. Yes.
Yeah, I don't want to talk too much because somebody else wants
Yes,
to talk.
yes.
I don't like to have both people.
Yeah.
You understand what I mean?
Yeah.
Thank you, sir. Good night.
Yeah. No, I mean, a very interesting comment by the caller that, of course, the Caribbean was the product or is the product of war. and I agree. Christopher Columbus came in 1492. But, of course, on behalf of the Spanish, because, he was from Portugal, but of course at that time they believed that the world was flat, and therefore he was saying that the world is wrong. copying from scientific entities at the time. I think can't remember his name now, but I think he was from Italy. But the fact of the matter is that he said that the world was wrong, and therefore he wants to reach, of course, India by sailing west, because you can do that because the world is like a ball. And so he came, but of course, what happened? They discovered, of course, the West Indies, and all the gold and silver and so on would have been, of course, taken to Spain, and war started in Europe. We will, of course, take some nostalgic historical perspective to look at the Caribbean, whether or not it was born out of war. But let's go to the lines. A pleasant good night, or welcome to the corridor. Pleasant good night, welcome to the corridor. Faizabad, are you hearing me? All right.
A pleasant good night to you, Uncle Lennox.
Pleasant good night to you as well. Let me make sure that.
No, I'm not hearing you on the phone.
Just so you stay right there. Stay right there, my friend. Let me see if I can do something about it. All right, let's see. Yeah, microphone right. Okay. All right, let's see now. Are you hearing me now?
Yes, sir.
Yeah,
a pleasant good night to you.
Yes. Pleasant good night to you as well.
Yes.
My apology there. Yes, go ahead. Yes.
It's okay, Uncle Lennox. I want to talk to you, and you want to talk to me, but I bold-faced.
You know. Of course, what I consider to be a friendly gesture will get you everywhere here, right? Even though I would deny, right?
Okay. I see.
Ahead, yes.
I know. I'm talking the truth. That way I say you deny me. We're talking the truth. It's okay. So a pleasant good night to each and everyone, and a happy Saturday.
Yes.
And let's donate a little dollar for Uncle Lennox over please now, so I can get a call to talk to him now. Because he just switch on the phone and think because he's favorite current. But here we're going on. Uncle Lennox.
Yeah.
I want to ask you a question. Which one the Caribbean and they? And where the Arawakan and they?
The what? Repeat that.
Where the Carib and them? Where are they? And where the Arawak and them? Where are they?
Well, they have become by and large extinct.
No, one is Champlain, the Caribbean is Champlain, and the Arawak is Mosika.
All right, okay.
Yes.
I suppose you're talking about brand names and
No, I talk about the
company.
people.
Yeah.
The first people who was here.
Yeah. No,
The
well, I mean,
Arawak and
today
the
you're
Carib.
talking about brand names, but of course, I know you were referring to the first people. That's why I said I talked about extinct. But of course, we have different over the years, genetic mix and all of that has created some people who are still saying that they are descendants of that tribal or the first people. And other parts of the Caribbean as well. But that is for another topic. But go ahead.
Yeah, no, but what I get to that, right?
Yeah.
Now, those two people was here first,
Yeah.
right? And history never say it was a pandemic like COVID or yellow fever or malaria or dengue,
Yeah.
right? Lick them up, you know.
Yeah. The European disease that was brought to the West. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So, you see how they get rid of an entity, right? That is war, right?
Yeah.
That is
But
chemical
quite apart
violence,
from
chemical
killing
war.
them out by trying to use them as slaves. But go ahead.
Right. So, but what I want to talk tonight about, I touch it on, you see, my political leader, and you know, you can see dear to my heart, right?
Yes.
And now, we start a divestment plan and are moving forward and getting this economy as a first world country and for development. And it is short of me, and I will fall short in my conversation to ask Penelope Beckles, right? When after COVID, the road to recovery, right? With the fellas that they put, and then he walk out of the organization because Rowley never want to implement the recovery plan, right? So when they come and they're talking about the reinvestment plan and the 5 pillars to move this economy forward, that we thief it from Brian Manning's father, right? Brian Manning first had to say, which one are his father we thief it from? And Penny had to say, as planning minister before she was in housing, right? Which part them had it hiding in Bally's house, or which part, right? They had all them plans on them. And the next thing and all I want to ask is that I want the people and the citizens to be conscious of that the PNM trustee for power and all to see why it is they will do anything and disrupt the governance of this country. And see how just the other day, they had me like slave and dog running helter-skelter. Because if you pay property tax, you pay 5,000 or go to jail. You push it down with throat.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, that was sad. That was a sad episode, boy. Traumatic. Go ahead.
Yeah, and it all is diversion because you see this thing about Venezuela and the zone of peace. I want Ralph Gonzalez to come out and say, although his wife is a citizen of Trinidad and Tobago, I know you, Mr. Lennox, you have a madam, right?
Yes.
Where's she from? She not from Trinidad or? She from along the 5 Islands? Huh? So how a citizen like she can't get a one of them house of them? Eh? Because why? It's on the open market. You see the kind of stupid ability they want to come and give me?
Yeah, that is nothing different to the Caribbean being a zone of peace. You know, it's just an obfuscation. It's just should I say, abuse of words, semantics, really. That's what that is about. It has nothing to do with the reality of the situation. But go ahead, my friend.
Yeah. So, and when they're talking about, we suppose the defense minister said that the Marines coming here to do exercise, right? We had to give them the reason why, who, and what. Why the mainstream media don't go and ask the ambassador or call Mark Rubio? Because the PNM had a lobbyist in America paying $100,000 US a month to talk to the president's office a direct phone call. And there is another man in a university that tell Rowley that he's the best man to run this country and he's so good. And he could talk to the president anytime that he had the office number. Call them and find out. Because don't distract me and we want to know how it is that this economy get where it is, that you telling me $500 billion and $140 billion borrowed. This country reached like where it is. Eric would have thief it out like a dose of salt. Erica can lend money in the name and still suffer the African people, Uncle Lennox. This is what happened there. And then the local election coming up here now, and the Tobago House of Assembly. You hear them in Tobago, when they ask them a question, how they will deal with conflict in the party and corruption, right? I didn't hear what the ladies say. I didn't hear they're listening, they hear the question after now. But they're going back to the polls and to face the same people. They suffer like worse than slave in modern time, Uncle Lennox. Then people have to be like that. That drugs, I can see them under drugs like some lunar cosmic dust fall on them head and had them confused. Because you telling me that every single state-owned enterprise want to make money, they privatize it, sell it out in shares, and give a private public people, don't worry, Uncle Lennox. And every day on the radio, every talk show you listen to, zone of peace. So I want to tell you something on this program tonight.
Mr. Faizabad on the line, yes. Go ahead, right? Mr. Faizabad, yeah.
Right. And one thing I want to say on your program tonight.
Go ahead.
The President of the United States, Mr. Donald Trump, Trump, say that Maduro days are numbered. Jump high, jump low, spread it wide, put the nuts where the monkey didn't want to shine the sun to hit. Maduro had to go, and his regime changed. And we don't want to hear about that anymore. And here what's going on. Who go outside in the seat official, right? And they get the problem. You telling me fishermen get in problem? The Colombia president tell them, put it together on a file against the international court. Eh? They run. Eh? Why? So Uncle Lennox, I would like you. You see this zone of peace talk? Let me talk about the economy and with the PNM, right? And we still had to get answers with that green truck when it pack up there pumping concrete, right? And we want to know where the money come from to build that. Don't let me forget about that thing. And the healthcare system, how to kill 22 babies. Have a good night, Mr. Takariba. Have a pleasant weekend. Tomorrow, please, one.
All right, my friend. Go ahead, Mr. Takarigo. Go ahead, Mr. Takarigo. Yes, good night to you, my friend. Loud and clear, loud and clear.
I never talk about the first part we were talking about tonight.
Yes, go ahead.
All the good people that come to treat everybody good, they just try to kill them.
Right, okay.
They start with John F. Kennedy. They kill him. They try to assassinate Ronald Reagan.
All right.
Martin Luther, they kill him. They was good fellas who treated everybody they're supposed to treat them, right?
Right.
PNM, the worst thing, we know what PNM do, they don't care about nobody.
Right.
But the worst evil they commit in this country, you know, is legalizing marijuana.
All right.
They're destroying the youth, the brain of the youth. And you saw the driving on the road. The most do is marijuana, I said, well, them driving too. They get in we call it marijuana psychosis.
Right.
That is scheduled. And even that's the most wicked thing PNM do. Legalizing that stuff, right?
Hmm.
Yeah? They
Yeah.
destroy the youth of the nation. Right?
I hear you.
Now, the next thing I will say, when they're talking about bad men,
Uh-huh.
although I realize the bad, Hitler was the bravest man they had. Hitler take on the whole world by himself. He didn't want to help from nobody. So, whoever idealize bad, we idealize Hitler.
I hear you.
Right? And next thing is, I hear some kind of things in that sanity world now.
All right.
Thank God we have a good Prime Minister now.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. All unfair games are played over, man, and it was played over with precise precision for the desired outcome to benefit all. Yeah.
I'm glad Sheila Park get fixed back up.
Yeah.
I just I'll really $2 million car park with nobody you know.
Yes.
All them who complain about the Laro thing, they got your price, they got your blood, they have no fetch again.
Yes.
If Sheila Park something is this.
I hear you.
Tell Josh, yeah, tell him you go come up.
I hear you, my
He
friend.
want to come up and see you go to me.
Right.
He
All right.
have the same time. Right?
Okay.
Just when you listen, that plenty time, boy.
I hear you.
So that's about it, my part for all.
No problem, my friend. Later.
right.
Yeah. Yes, indeed, people. There's something, of course, in terms of whilst we are in the road of, or in the area of observation. Have you not observed that there is an announcement by the Attorney General, confirmed by the Minister of Foreign Affairs, that there will be a second in succession exercise between the United States Navy and that of Trinidad and Tobago's, what I consider to be military forces. Let me repeat. I think it begins from today, if I'm not mistaken. There is, of course, a second iteration, a second episode of United States forces, military forces, in this case the Marines, and that of Trinidad and Tobago's military forces, collaboration, and engaging, of course, in training exercises. Why am I saying all of that? You notice that the opposition definitely silent. Notice that they had nothing to say. The panic they created, of course, on the first iteration vanished and, of course, fell flat. And they didn't attract any political currency or benefit. They did not. So they didn't want to take no chances this time around. So they're asking for additional information rather than telling you, the population, a war will start from Port of Spain. With the previous iteration, of course, of that ship that was docked at near the Hyatt, the Port of Spain wharf. Yeah, that warship. So now that a bigger, or should I say a more potent argument is now available to generate that propaganda, one has to say that the PNM propaganda machinery has collapsed, has failed. Because the Gerald Ford is here, carrying, apart from the ships that were here and the submarine that was here or is here in our waters, we have the Gerald Ford, and right as it entered, or should I say entered the arena of the coast of Venezuela in the Caribbean Sea, military exercises between the United States and Trinidad has commenced, and the opposition has nothing to say. I tell you, they have gone mad. They are bewildered. They are drowning and holding on and clutching on to verbal straws. And you know, out of an abundance of caution, they have nothing to say. But if based on what they said before, that one ship in Port of Spain would have caused that war from Port of Spain, one would have expected that they will be bellowing to high pitch, to high decibel, that is Gerald Ford bringing, of course, that massive array of destruction, its planes, boats, artillery unlimited. You know, they're gone silent because they don't want to make a further ass of themselves. That is what is happening here. So, Penelope Beckers, you have gone silent, having, of course, created unnecessary panic. And, of course, your silence now will further reinforce the lack of credibility and, of course, the mistrust by the population of the PNM in its present configuration. Common sense. You don't need to be a rocket scientist to determine that. Out of an abundance of caution, now they are no longer reckless, so they are asking for further questions of the, of course, Minister of Homeland Security, saying, asking, of course, of the Minister of Foreign Affairs. And indeed, I've not seen them ask questions of him, but he had made it very clear, the Attorney General I'm talking about, that further exercises will take place between the United States Armed Forces and that of Trinidad and Tobago. Yet still, the opposition is silent. Think about it. Think about it. They are lost. They are in a state of quandary. They are in a state of discombobulation. They are in a quagmire. They are in a vice grip. And they cannot shift nor twiddle. They are in a state of higgledy-piggledy. They are in a state of helter-skelter. They are in a state of collapse. That is the reasonable and, of course, rational, inevitable conclusion that one has to draw in such circumstance. Because here it is that there is argument now to at least generate a propaganda because of the presence of the Gerald Ford, but yet still the opposition has remained silent. So it was all about seeking unmerited political traction, political currency that simply does not exist for the PNM, and that their currency has reached such a low ebb that, of course, it is very difficult not only to fathom, but to visualize. Not only impossible to fathom, but to visualize. It is so infinitesimally small, infinitesimally insignificant. Yes, that is what is happening to them. So they are rotting and deteriorating from within, and the stench of that collapse is in deep hell. It's traveling to deep hell. Let's go to the lines. A pleasant good night. Welcome to the corridor.
A pleasant good night to you, Mr. Lennox Smith.
Good night to you as well, my friend.
And everybody on the live, a pleasant good night. Well, Lennox.
Yay.
Every day now I see new and new evidence keep appearing in the reality. You know what the evidence show me right now? I feel our Prime Minister is a healer. You know. All who couldn't talk started talking now. All who couldn't see started seeing now. You know, St. Vincent people right now thanking Trinidad and Tobago for the revelation that was revealed by Anna Roberts about Rab Gonzalez and the family. Lennox, if you see the amount of people right now from St. Vincent talking about that Prime Minister right now, he will lose the election or not? Even
of course he will lose it.
Even if he try to thief it and all, he will lose that and all too.
Well, we said so about Rowley and the PNM as well, because they certainly would have put mechanism in place to steal. But of course, the people are so damn convinced and so mono in their focus and their intent that it would have been impossible. I suppose it's the same predicament that Gonzalez has found himself in, and the people, of course, have taken a decisive position on this matter, consequential of. Because of his own doing, he is now, of course, in the political doldrums. Go ahead.
Well, let me extend this saying and all too. When the UNC win, St. Vincent win also, and?
I hear you. I hear you, my friend. I hear you.
Yeah, because I got what Lennox. I seen CARICOM. If these people get on board, to the shift in the leadership from these dinosaur CARICOM leaders is concerned, they will get left behind. CARICOM had to make up the mind. In fact, the people of the Caribbean had to make up their mind what it is they want in the near future. Because this old way our leadership isn't working out. Because you said it a while ago, when Ronnie was Prime Minister, these people come here and had to eat up and they drink up here in Trinidad, talking about crime in the Caribbean. And I still cannot believe these people will continue to hostage the minds of the people where they say that the CARICOM is a zone of peace. That is a lie, because in Trinidad has so much crime take place in the past 10 years. In fact, on the PNM, crime has been the highest. What zone of peace them talking about? What zone are people? Where that coming out from? The Lennox?
Concoction. A concoction. Figment of people's imagination.
But you know what? Before I go, you know what I realized too about the PNM? And and they always they always used to be hold on, I have a little cold here. Hold on.
No problem.
Every time I notice what the PNM does be doing now,
Yeah.
that be interfering especially with black poor people emotional. Anytime they want to make a statement, they're always bawling about the vulnerable and the single mothers. And I keep asking myself, how come they don't talk about the single fathers? How come they don't talk about both parents and the whole? Why is they always shushing on single mothers and poor people? You understand? And I realize these people and them they be playing with the emotion of black people especially because them create that environment that depend on syndrome for years. Do as I say, but don't do as I do.
I want to
You
tell you, my
understand?
friend, once again, I have to tell you, go to the top of the class. Because immediately what comes to mind in the context of Tobago is the Calcutta ship. What comes to mind in the context of Trinidad is, of course, the I know monkey is for banana is for monkeys, and of course having done harm and damage to the southwestern peninsula, over 65,000 persons directly and indirectly affected by the close down. He then, of course, uses that tribal politics and, of course, attempting to play the race card. And, of course, in 2020, the people lapped it up. But just as how they lapped it up when it was original and was initial in Tobago as far as the Calcutta ship is concerned. But today, today is a different story. They don't want to hear them. They don't want to hear them. So you're quite right, my friend. Go to the top of the class. Just let me tell
Right.
this caller to hold on. Hold on,
I see.
Wasa.
One more thing before I go.
Mr. Point is concluding. Go ahead, Mr.
Right.
Point
One
14.
more thing before I go, Lennox.
Yeah.
I don't know if this will happen, but I will leave you to answer this question for me.
Go ahead.
Do you believe before the year done, any one of them at the PNM will make a jail? Look on this morning.
Not, I wouldn't say before the year finishes, but I would say by the first quarter of next year, into the first half of next year, there will be some fireworks in that regard. All right, go ahead, caller. Welcome to the corridor.
Yeah, good night, Uncle.
Good night, my friend.
Yo, well, see the fiasco come out of the HEC with the St. Vincent and Grenadines PM.
Yes.
Well, the question that I ask now, how much former government officials have property in St. Vincent and the Grenadines?
Yeah, there must be quick pro quo. If you scratch my back, I'll scratch yours.
Right. So that is our next turn of investigation.
Yeah,
to find
we
out
already know that there's a
what
place named after Patrick Manning. When they had the volcano, Trinidad and Tobago did assist, on the pretext of assisting, and a whole village was created and called, I think, Patrick Manning. I don't know where it is, but I think arrangement is being made for us to be in St. Vincent for a very short time, and I'm sure that will be one of the things that if I am there, I will be looking forward to have a look-see, and to then, of course, get some official positioning as to whether or not that was as a consequence of the quick pro quo that we see unfolding in Trinidad by, of course, the minister in the Ministry of Housing, Annie Roberts. Go ahead.
Yeah, so you see the latest development the past week with police officers finding themselves on the wrong side of the law.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Right?
Yeah, in that
different
kidnapping
incidents,
episode, yeah.
Right, the last one now, with police when they recover a vehicle, the record come and recover the vehicle, they escort the vehicle, they stop the vehicle, that's certain point, they scrap on the man, music, everything, and put in the police car, they go on with it.
No shame. I know that one. I know that one.
Yeah,
All right.
yeah.
Okay.
That was going on. You see here what is going on. You see that commissioner police position. Them had a farm out that on a 6 months contract. That one had to go on, because something wrong with the organization. But you see that whole executive. We have one. Ever remember the executive? Right, in about 3 fiasco. One with the Kalakan man from Caribbean Island. The other is with the commissioner of police and the firearm dealer and all them things.
Yeah, but I think the creme de la creme is the day of total policing. That one was most glaring, boy. It shows a runaway executive. Yes, yeah.
But you see that independence and that institution. I feel it's high time now that something had to be done with them, boy, because people can't trust them. People cannot trust them again. Time and time again, they just keep seeing things going on, and when it's time the public to get some kind of answers.
Well, would you say that since they still have some functionality which is critical to our security, would you say that they are a necessary evil now? A necessary evil now?
The actions, Uncle Lennox, the actions alone speak volumes. You understand what I'm saying? Trust them. You cannot trust them. A law-abiding citizen go to the car report. They want a party show you. There's all kind of thing, but it's something wrong with the people. And it's high time now. The PCA, it's high time the PCA investigation could move the director of public prosecution to charge police.
I hear you.
Because you can't have an institution doing investigation. Now, when the investigation concluded, the DPP not taking a directive from them to charge nobody, and the conclusionary report can't move the commissioner of police to take no disciplinary action against no police officer.
I hear you.
Something had to be done because this can't go on, and the commissioner of police position had to be fabbed out in a 6 month contract.
I hear you. That's one recommendation. I'm sure the authorities are listening to you right now, and who knows? Yeah, because I know that they are listened, of course, to those who had some concerns with the noise pollution, and you see statements are being made all over the place, actions are taken, and so I'm sure that those who would have had that concern, I think they are sitting kind of fairly all right now. Go ahead.
Well, what's going on? I had the same. I not live in these environments where these facts are in the ski place, but I had a sympathy for people because you see the noise pollution. It's not just noise pollution, it's explicit, X-rated underground music people are playing at high volume.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying?
I hear you.
It's not just loud music. It's not a loud baran.
Yeah,
or loud,
especially in the ghetto. Especially in the ghetto.
Bob Marley or some.
Especially in the ghetto. Yeah. You have an overdose. Yeah. I hear you. All right.
You understand?
Yeah.
Yeah, so God has called our chances. So
Yes.
I hope you are this year.
All right, my friend.
With regards to the police and everything.
Yeah. Thank you very much for that deep concern. And of course, it is very valid. There should be. But of course, I thought I should. We are already, of course, 9:50. What's the time? Wow, 9:50 people. All right. Joshua took up too much time. But let me just play a piece here so you will get an appreciation as to the direction in which Trinidad and Tobago ought to have been going, ought to go, and whether over time the strategy has been, should I say, undermined. But one cannot take away the potential of Trinidad and Tobago to be the leader. I mean, we are, in fact, per capita income, the third richest country in the Western Hemisphere. Per capita income, kind of money that we get. And if the monies are shared equitably, then everybody would be living comfortably. I forget, I don't want to hazard I think it's 20,000 US. Everybody should be getting comfortably if you were to convert all the assets of the country into money and share it among the 1.5 million of us. So that would include, of course, the children as well. But let's hear this, and you'll put things in perspective. We'll get things in perspective. I did, of course, play the entire thing last Thursday, but I just play a piece of it to show the direction in which we ought to have gone, the position that we are in today, but also against the background of what ought to have been, and that the present government is now, of course, refocusing that potential that is Trinidad and Tobago. Let's go straight, of course, to that piece, and you'll get an appreciation as to what I'm talking about. Yes, indeed.
What if everything you know about global power politics is a lie? What if, while the world is obsessed with wars in Europe and the Middle East, the most cunning and sophisticated political game is being played not by a superpower, but by a tiny two-island nation in the Caribbean? And what if one of the most powerful men on the planet just stood up and exposed the entire scheme for the world to see? Recently, Donald Trump made a series of statements that have sent shockwaves through international corridors of power. He didn't focus on China or Russia. He pointed directly to Trinidad and Tobago, and what he revealed wasn't a story of a struggling economy or a passive victim of global forces. He exposed a brilliant, decades-long, and incredibly controversial political master plan that has allowed Trinidad to puppet master the entire Caribbean and manipulate superpowers to its will. This isn't a story about oil wealth. This is a story about a level of geopolitical genius and ruthless strategy that stuns the world once it's understood. What you are about to learn will shatter your perception of how global influence truly works. The first pillar of Trinidad's exposed political game is the strategic neutrality and calculated dependency doctrine. This approach is not just a passive stance, but a deliberate and sophisticated strategy that has been honed over years of careful observation and adaptation to global power shifts. On the surface, Trinidad presents itself as a neutral, friendly Caribbean nation, a reliable partner to all. Its image is one of openness, hospitality, and non-alignment, making it appear as a safe haven for international diplomacy and business. But this perceived neutrality is a carefully constructed and weaponized facade. Behind closed doors, Trinidad's leaders are acutely aware of the leverage their nation holds, and they use it with precision. The reality is that Trinidad has masterfully made itself strategically dependent to the world's major powers, but on its own terms. It has woven itself into the fabric of global energy and diplomacy, ensuring that its interests are always at the table. Its most powerful political tool is its liquefied natural gas infrastructure.
So I want to pause here because we have to go. Only to say that the only anomaly, frankly, because we always had that potential to be the Dubai of the West, and of course the Singapore of the West as well. But what we have had is that the potential was always there, let's face it, but the leadership of the country, that's where we fell down. The approach of the Rowley administration was one to betray that potential, because you would have made enemies with the United States, the most powerful country on earth in the Western Hemisphere, just north of us. So you have sullied that manipulation, according to the author, that Trinidad and Tobago, and that strategic positioning that Trinidad and Tobago ought to have had incrementally, or put another way, on a linear line, but moving vertically. A linear line moving vertically to dominate. Because we have a commodity gas. At one time, as I said, 49% of our liquefied gas would have gone to the United States. For what? For heating in winter. Now that Russia and Ukraine is in conflict, and the Europeans are saying, I am not going to buy again from Russia as a means of punishing them, Trinidad and Tobago again has potentially to fill the gap. America sanction Venezuela. Say no transaction with the major commodity sitting on the world's largest supply, or should I say potential supply of oil and gas. And yet still Trinidad was able, even under Rowley, to have the American lift sanctions in order to treat with, of course, the dragon gas and other cross-border energy commodities. Why? Because according to the author, they recognize that Trinidad and Tobago is strategic. It's the gateway, of course, to the South America. And Kamala Prasad Bisesa is correct. All of us need to have a second language, and the second language has to be Spanish. We have to begin, of course, the process at the kindergarten, come right up the road. Because you have over 60 million people just south of us. South of us and west of us. If you include, of course, the American Peninsula, that piece of land that begins with Mexico and ends, let's say, with Panama and a piece of Colombia, but certainly Panama. To whom we can export, because we have a potential and real industrial base, industrial infrastructure to produce cheaper, because we have, of course, a competitive advantage as compared to the others. The only thing we don't have really is the size to treat with, of course, these large markets, but we only want a niche. We don't want the whole thing. We ain't greedy. So, Kamala Prasad Bisesa, in opening up, and of course opening not just the economy, but opening up our eyes and our brain to, of course, to think big, certainly at the end of the day, all of us will benefit. Let's end, of course, with that particular piece that will certainly make you feel optimistic and make you feel nationalistic and make you feel patriotic and make you feel that there is exciting times ahead in Trinidad and Tobago. We are going to have some challenges before and during, but ultimately our quality of life and standard of living will certainly improve.
Network is not just an economic asset, but a geopolitical weapon, giving Trinidad influence far beyond its size. Recognizing its declining domestic gas production, Trinidad didn't panic. Instead, it saw an opportunity to reinvent its role in the global energy market, leveraging its existing infrastructure and expertise. Instead, it positioned itself as the only viable solution to two major geopolitical problems simultaneously. Trinidad became the linchpin in a complex web of energy politics, connecting adversaries and allies alike. For the United States, Trinidad is the only politically palatable hub to process and monetize the massive natural gas reserves of sanctioned Venezuela, a key strategic goal for Washington in weakening the Maduro regime and supplying Europe. Without Trinidad, the U.S. would struggle to find a legitimate pathway to tap into Venezuela's resources without violating its own sanctions. For Europe, Trinidad is a critical, non-Russian source of LNG to ensure energy security. As Europe scrambles to diversify away from Russian gas, Trinidad's role as a stable supplier has become even more essential, especially in times of crisis. By being the indispensable bridge for these two colossal geopolitical objectives, Trinidad has made the US and the EU dependent on its cooperation. This dependency is not accidental. It is the result of years of strategic planning and diplomatic maneuvering. This is not true neutrality. It is the strategic cultivation of dependency. Trinidad's leaders have mastered the art of appearing impartial while quietly pulling the strings behind the scenes. Trinidad's government can now negotiate from a position of immense strength, extracting concessions, sanctions, waivers, and political support, because
yes, all of that has happened, especially in recent times, because of Kamala Prasad Bissasa's administration vision, understanding of the geopolitical realities, and the positioning of Trinidad and Tobago, and the positioning of Trinidad and Tobago as, of course, in the crossroads, so to speak, and along, of course, international, what I consider to be shipping lines into and out of South America. And South America, of course, is comprised of what countries? Well, of course, the very viable Guyana, Venezuela, Colombia, Peru, Chile, Paraguay, Uruguay, Brazil, Argentina, and of course, next to Guyana, you also have the Suriname, and you have, of course, the French Guyana. All of these countries, huge populations. Of course, we will look at country by country at some time and look at their population size. We will get, of course, we'll use the aid of AI. Maybe I should just, for example, let's find out the population of, let's say, Brazil. Let's take that for example. Give me the population of Brazil.
Brazil's population is estimated to be around 213.4 million people as of 2025.
214 million people. So we will be able, of course, to explore all of that as we look at Trinidad and Tobago. Over 200 million people in Brazil. Let's look at what? Chile. Let's look at Chile, because we export to Chile as well. What's the population of Chile?
Chile's estimated population for 2025 is around 19.7 million people.
19 million, 20 million one side. So huge consumption potential for goods and services from Trinidad and Tobago just south of us. And we're the only country that whose native tongue is not Spanish, of course, is Brazil. And there is a reason for that. In fact, just by way of information, the only monarch from Europe that lifted itself out of Europe and came to the West was Portugal, because Portugal is the colonial, let's say the former colonial master of Brazil. Because there is a deep history to that. Because just after when Christopher Columbus came to the West in 1492, there was a battle between Spain and Portugal, because they were the most powerful European countries at the time. And what they did, and the Pope was very influential. So the Treaty of Tordesillas was developed by the Pope. And of course, the New World was split into two. And Brazil, what we know as Brazil today, became part, or the portion for which Portugal was allocated, and that portion that would have been west of that line would have been allocated to Spain. That is why you have so much, of course, Spanish-speaking countries there, and you have, of course, Brazil, the only country in that sphere in South America whose main tongue is really Portuguese. I trust that piece of information will set you thinking and doing some more research. Have a wonderful rest of the night. God bless, and see you, of course, tomorrow night when Joshua and I will, of course, again deal with these and other issues. Of course, he dealing with children's matter. Have a wonderful one. Bye-bye.
I will fight.
Human rights, the latest platform on which politicians lunch from when they want to to be a millionaire or some kind of petty bourgeoisie anytime you live in here. In this country, you got to be in skullduggery, making you money illicitly to live like somebody. In this country, it's outrageous and insane. Them crazy prices in Port of Spain, and like the merchants going out their brain, and the working man like the only toiling in vain. Where you ever hear a television for 7,000, $250,000 for live piece of land? A pair of sneakers, $200, 80,000, 90,000
Military might would ever suggest. The controversy really lies in the sheer audacity of the play. While other nations beg for investment or military protection, Trinidad has quietly built a system where superpowers must come to it and must play by its rules to achieve their own vital goals. It's a form of political jiu-jitsu, using the